7 years old, dude. It's from like one of those like Chinese mail order things.
Now it looks like because they know what people want, they're just going to offer these things regularly because that's what people want. And that's what I always wanted. I always liked that TV yellow stuff.
I have my theorist with me, Cranna MFG. Am I right?
See, I'm always right. Careful. So you want to be careful.
Ah, my eye! What's up, everybody? It's your boy Embarklife. This episode marks the finale of what I be calling the intermission season. I call this the intermission because it's like the break in the middle of a theater show. This is a time where you get to handle your business and then you meet a neighbor and you find out what they be doing. At the start of the intermission season, I gave you a little studio tour. I showed you the tools that I be using to be a creative professional and gave you some story context behind the creative process. My main drive in putting these documentaries together is primarily self-reflection and review for judgment for like real future purposes. Last time we was here and I was speaking to y'all, I gave you the rundown on some of the guitars, but we didn't really go in depth on them. That whole area of my creative process really do require a separate video. That's what we finna do right now. My aunt got this for me. I think it was like either my birthday or my Christmas. It had nylon strings on there. At one point, put steel strings on there. Always tune up. It's better.
Yeah, better, closer, warmer.
Now, since the beginning of the intermission, I've been kind of like on my pivot. I just be straight up doing things. I thought maybe I would give you a little insight into how I be thinking about and acting with guitars. We're gonna spend some time with my boy Timmy, and we'll give y'all a little inside look into our creative process. In the episode that we put out just before this one called I Think I've Always Wanted to Be a Musician, we gotta take a look back and interview my boy Timmy on how he became a guitarist. Now we gonna take a look at how I stumbled upon guitar. Some of the things that we be asking ourselves is, what does it take to be an actual musician?
See, you played it, but you couldn't stand it.
You played the right one right there, but you couldn't stand it. When I did finally actually like, I'm gonna learn how to play guitar, it wasn't until I was 9 or 10. My aunt had a guitar. Bring over my guitar to my grandmama's house where my aunt is, and then she's gonna teach me how to play guitar. This with the nylon strings, and it couldn't stay in tune. I only knew these chords. She taught me these chords. It was E minor, a G. She taught me the G with these two fingers. A D. You know, I don't know about the sus, and I knew C like this. So all those like cowboy chords. Ever since childhood, I've had a very like deep and strong gravitation towards music. I think all baby children are like that. My baby children are like that. I never had a guitar teacher. I did do school band class, but I never had a guitar teacher. I've had teaching moments, but I've never had formal lessons. Now that I got my own baby children, now I gotta be a music teacher.
I play drums.
Eventually, there's just gonna be homies that ask you like, how that be working? And then you start doing the whole self-reflection thing, and you're like, bro, like, why can't you explain what you be doing? Like, why do you not know what you be doing? At some point, my boy Timmy, he be asking me the theory questions. And then I'm like, uh-oh, bro. We created power chords over everything. Because you could climb the G like this. The thirds. And you can also stack them with power chord fives. Ooh, but that's the, right? That's the one. But it works though. I started looking at music theory because I had other people asking me questions about guitar. Really, they're not talking about guitar. They're really just talking about music.
But are these true P90s?
Yeah. Yes. You know how they do like the 57,
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
They're supposed to be of the 50s Les Paul.
And that's the neck too. Your neck profile is
I got this because I love the Telecaster, but I love the profile set neck.
Scale length
of a Les Paul, but with single coil-esque but still fat.
I'm one of those guitarists that's like, I just want to know how to do this little doodad. That's just fun to play. I just be trying to make music. Eventually, if you just keep wandering around making music, you're going to find yourself wanting to write songs. That's one of my personal practice goals, is to just be able to understand how songs are written.
How would you break down a chord progression that is maintaining itself as the chord progression? So let's just say something typical, right? And then I was like, I want a real guitar. All I saw was everyone playing electric guitars. I was like, I want an electric guitar. And then my dad was like, no, we ain't gonna get you an electric guitar. We're gonna get you an acoustic guitar though. And there was a guitar shop right by the house called Guitar Solo. That shop was only acoustic guitars. I go through the entire shop and I saw one of these. And I was like, this looks like an electric guitar, but it's an acoustic guitar. You know, it wasn't a big I played all those like acoustic guitars with like the body and everything. Yeah,
Plank body.
I love
right?
that. I
Just
love
like
that.
the Tele.
Yeah.
A lot lighter. This one is a one piece, which really turned me on. A lot of Gibson, they're doing two piece, which is okay. My traditional is a two piece back.
Right.
It's fine. It's sound, structurally sound, but there's just something about I want the one piece of wood, and I'm sure vibrations go through the conjoined pieces just fine.
Just fine, yeah.
I'm just a graphic designer. That's what I mainly be thinking about. That's what I went to school for. You know, they teach you that graphic design is the logical and problem-solving layout of the written word. It's like why we have columns. We have font sizes. It's why humanity has developed printing methods. It's the study of the established system by which all messaging is experienced, whether you're the creator of the message or you're the receiver of the message.
And then with the translucent, like this is how we got to the Telecaster that we made. I wanted that see-through grain. And so this is mahogany, and it's filled grain. 220. Now it's ready to take the grain filler. Throw it on. It's like mud, dude. It's like spackle. Put the mud on there, and then you take just a credit card, go with the grain, and then 45 against the grain. Use 320, which is even finer, and then you're just working till you have a smooth surface.
To me, I was like, this is tight. Like, this feels hella cool.
You got a sunburst guitar,
Yeah.
electric guitar right
It was
there.
an electric guitar. Like, to me, I was like, Beatles, like, they be playing guitars that look like this. You know what I'm saying? Like, Rolling Stones.
So I have the Les Paul, the traditional,
Right,
heavy,
right.
not chambered. I love that thing. I would take that to little jams and stuff. After a couple hours, dude, ow, lower back, ow. And then just like moving around, packing in and out with your amp and stuff. It's just like too much.
When I was in design school, I did a lot of projects that are based around the development of writing systems. Then I found myself going on a deep dive of how music theory is developed. The visual concepts that go into like sheet music, what we call the written score and stuff like that. Now that I'm closing up the intermission season, I'm just trying to figure out what I really want to be doing. If I'm being totally honest, I woke up thinking I want to be a real guitarist. Yeah, I'm gonna tell my aunt that I copped a guitar. All right, for sure, you got a real guitar. And I pop out with this. She's like, that's a guitar you got? And I was like, oh no, dude, like I chose the wrong guitar, homie. It's like, what? Graphic design is like a gateway drug. It's like when you start doing graphic design, you just start looking at the world differently. You start reverse engineering all aspects of production. Like how they get this logo on there? How they make this impression so fine? How do you make this graphic like wrap around a product?
That looks tight, dude. I wish this was my size.
Because graphic designers are very obsessed with printing methods. You start looking at every type of impression, start looking at vinyl records and be like, that's printmaking. Graphic designers are very concerned with the physical impression of something, the size of a font, the spaces between each letter, the limitations of the printing method, the execution of individual letter forms and their construction, composition and arrangement of visual elements. But then I started looking at music the same way. You have the arrangement and composition of elements. This time there's just sound elements. I just like to make musical noises. Age 7, I was given that one. Didn't play until maybe 9 or 10. And then when I was like 11 or 12, I think I was like 12, then my dad got me this one. Freshman year into sophomore year, I was going to Drew's house like all the time. Summertime, going there, they go to Guitar Center. Anyone who had an electric guitar, go to their house, that was my exposure to electric guitar. There are a number of main principles of design that all graphic designers use to interpret graphic design. In reality, it's how we describe everything that is designed. We work with repetition, scale, negative and positive space, the concept of line and a stroke, extraction and abstraction, the concept of vector and texture, and the concepts of proportion and ratio, the concept of the rate of change of something over time. All of those things sound like music to me.
Just looking for something simple. This was to more or less replace the Telecaster because I like the Les Paul so much. To take out and stuff, and it's light and...
Ooh, you got jumbo numbers. Are my numbers that big?
No, they're slightly smaller.
Yeah, these are like,
bonking.
I like that.
Yeah.
Oh, in the light though? Like, oh, what?
Yeah.
The principles are only there for you to observe and describe. Like, they're not necessarily the main point of design. At the end of the day, you're making a book, you're making a poster, you're making a pamphlet, you're making some type of product. What I think of when it comes to music as a designer is just like, you need to be able to make a song. A poster has dimensions. You need to have a beginning, middle, and end. Graphic designers are always concerned with the fixed order of elements. And we talk about composition and arrangement.
The railroad track.
That's the one I was showing you before.
No, there was like the
Displacement of major and minor thirds. So you stack those into chords. And that would also just,
it's the robber on the railroad.
yeah, if the train's never gonna stop.
16, this one right here, dude. That's where all these
Guitar Center picks come from. There's actually like twice as many as this. I went to Guitar Center like multiple times a week because they let you play guitars at Guitar Center. Like, they don't kick you out. Les Paul Standards, Les Paul Customs, PRS. Can I see that white Les Paul Custom with like the diamond on the headstock? And they're like, oh yeah, let me just bust out this ladder right here. What do you want to play it in? And I'm like, I have a Vox, what do they call it? Like a Pathfinder or something? We're not going to plug this into that. He's like, you want to plug this into this. Yeah, let's crank this, you know? And like, I feel bad that I don't know how to play any like real stuff. I'm literally here because I'm just trying to practice.
I grew up failing at pretty much everything. I'm not very good at sports. I'm a late reader. Takes me a long time to understand simple things. But I think it's just because I didn't have the attention span or the will to like sit still long enough for any type of lesson to have any lasting impression. When I started drawing pictures and when I started thinking about music, those are the two activities that allowed me to sit down long enough for any type of life lesson to sink in. And when you really failing at everything when you were a child, you just like, bro, is there something that I'm not whack at? Bro, like, I whack at everything. What can I actually do though?
Wraparound tailpiece. There is no tunematic thing where you can get all the intonation perfectly or whatever. And there's none of this like extension out. I don't know. There's like a simplicity to it. You know, I would like beat myself up over intonation, and it's like, there ain't no intonation happening here. You're in the ballpark, but it's good enough for rock and roll.
Yeah.
I didn't grow up in a musical family, like at all. We had access to instruments. Like, I had a piano in my house, and my grandmama's house had a piano. The only person in my family was my aunt who played guitar. She taught me all she knew, and then I'd be looking at other people playing guitar. I'd be like, bruh, I try to play guitar, but I don't play guitar like that though. Like, what? I grew up in a very visual family. My granddaddy was a fine art painter, and my pops is like an old school mechanical engineer. You know what I'm saying? So I grew up around isometric drawings and schematics, and my dad was able to make diagrams.
These things you gotta be very, very careful. You don't want to drop this inside the car. You lose it, then kind of hose.
Chromatic scales, because that's what Drew's dad showed me. And then like major scales, plugging in this like $3,000 guitar into half stacks and full stacks, telling me crank it. I'm doing like my most impressive things, but like really what I'm there to do is just like major scale. And this is one dude named Shane. He like came over and he was like, it sounds like you could use some help. In my head, I was like, oh no, bro. Like my practices sound like I need some help, dude. He picks up another Les Paul and he plugs into another Marshall amp. Starts giving me guitar lessons basically. And I was just doing that up and down, little bendy things, just getting comfortable with the mechanics, you know, not even really making music. Basically, a lot of my early practice, personal responsibility practice, like I need to know my major scale. Like I need to know my pentatonic scale. Going to Guitar Center just to do practices. The guys started giving me guitar lessons. And then at the end of that summer, 2005, my dad was like, let's go get you a guitar. And I was like, all right, let's go get a guitar at Guitar Center. And he's like, yeah, let's go get you a Gibson. I did, however, grow up in church. When you grow up in a church, you witness singing and music every Sunday. To me, it was like, these are just regular general life skills. Everybody need to just be about music. When you grow up in a church, they basically teach you that music is a requirement, a worship requirement. Like music is just a worship requirement. I was always the homie who was like walking around with guitars and stuff. I was always trying to push guitar. My homies be like, you just gotta try it. Like, why don't you just try it? You could just try it. Like, if I can do it, you can do it. I don't know if my hands could do that. And I'd be like, look at my hands, dude. Come on. If I can do it, you can do it. You know what I'm saying? Eventually, your fretting hand just like will outstretch your other hand. Like, that's maxed out. That's crazy. What were the ones at the time? Les Paul Jr., Les Paul Special, and there was the lowest one at the time was a Melody Maker. You remember the Melody Maker? But when I told my dad like there's this thing called the standard, he was like, oh, that's the standard? Oh, then everything below that is like substandard.
I don't want you to come back to me and
I don't want you to be like,
I need something more.
Yeah, I played all these flame tops. When the guy was like, you want to try some more? We got some more that like haven't hit the floor yet. Bring them out right now. And I was like, let's go play them. And he brought this one out and a few other ones. This is the one I'm trying to get. Oh snap, like my pops just like caught me a Gibson Les Paul standard. In your 1/5 octave would be the octave of F basically, right? But I'm not gonna treat it like that. I'm gonna treat this as the tonic and back it up by a fourth. So instead of, I'm gonna have this. Neck binding.
Oh yeah, and it's like light binding, not the thick, chunky stuff. Dang, I don't remember like hitting my pick down there, but the scratches on my pick guard are for me like registering.
I think when you're picking and your strumming patterns are heavy, that you end up getting scratches like
up there.
Here.
Yeah, exactly.
I've always been the homie that when the homies come through, I always got like my computer station set up. Everything is about being able to produce something like right now. I want to draw a picture right now. Like I'm trying to animate something like right now, print it out like right now. The guy was laying it down on the table, showing you all the little things about the guitar. I gotta let you know, this headstock has a tendency to just like break on people who don't take care of their instruments. Copied in 2005, 2008, sometime in 2008. Kev.
You play guitar?
Yeah, he's playing it. He puts it back down in one of those stands that holds it like mid-neck. And it sits with gravity. I didn't see it happen, I heard it happen.
What does that sound like?
It's like, is your guitar dying? And it gets all detuned, and when it snaps, you hear that happen, then you instantly hear like, if you detuned all six strings
some
at
popping
once.
And stuff?
Yeah, it's like...
And some flapping strings?
You know, when you hear it go, oh no, dude, like my guitar is like, died. Don't get ahead with just the theory, because the theory, if I were just going by the book, I wouldn't have thought of power chords as being like my ticket. Yeah. Learning which notes not to give up just to start giving them up.
You wouldn't look at it as a power chord. You would look at it as those are as a perfect fourth and a perfect fifth.
Perfect fourth, perfect fifth. Exactly. Because I was taught that this is the shape of a power chord. No one told me that it's 1/5 an octave. And I was like, I don't even know what I'm doing, and it makes you feel like shameful.
Yeah.
I mean, the solid state. You okay with that?
Yeah,
you okay with solid state?
Look how when it turns out, it sounds like a computer or an airplane or something.
It is that. It's got fans and stuff. Okay, when did you start using vibrato?
I don't know, dude. I can't think of a legitimate time or place where I was like, it actually comes from this.
Oh,
That's what it came from.
So there you go.
That's when it came from.
Oh, see, dude, I'm glad I asked, bro.
Because I didn't hear that song. You're like, how did he make that? Is that feedback? What is that? And it is. It's a movie mode. They use it in hella. They use it and to make it uplifting.
Yeah.
Yes. So key of C major. But if you raise the fourth, it gives it a little.
You start getting into the audio software. And you're like, bro. One of my favorite ones to use right now, currently outside of GarageBand, is Adobe Audition. Pretty much every musical performance you see on the channel, I record in GarageBand. And then I take the stems and I manage them and layer them in Adobe Audition. All the drum tracking that you see in my musical performances have been done either with the camera microphone or they were captured with a USB microphone. It's just something that I'm experimenting with, and it's hilarious to me. Luckily, it didn't snap all the way off.
You could definitely tell there's like some
A
stuff
line
going
there.
on right there. I mean, that's a pretty flawless repair for a headstock being broke, dude.
Brought it to Guitar Center because I was like, what normally happens? Do you send this back to
Gibson? Like, what's
Gibson?
going on?
Like Gary
Brower?
at Real Guitars, and he's the dude that like fixes this exactly.
He's the official
He's the
licensed
guy.
Gibson doctor. Dude.
Yeah, this is what he said. He's like, when I'm done with it, if you drop the guitar again, it will never break right there. Right there will be stronger in the repair. It'll break near it, but it won't break there. All right, for sure. You know what I'm saying? Like, that sounds good. Probably around a week, in a few days. Pops it out the case, and he's like, plug it in and try it out. You know, typical blues lines, but like trying to arpeggiate everything. Some legato runs, and he was actually kind of like bobbing his head with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, he straight up asked me, he was like, are you trying to play for a band? Or are you trying to become a solo artist? Did you learn major scale first, or did you learn pentatonic?
I learned
The pentatonic in G.
Yeah, and
Key of the people.
I didn't know. That's the sequence that it goes. And I thought A would have a different sequence.
Oh, the congruency was not.
I didn't
obvious.
put that together. Yeah, I thought, because on the piano, it's different, dude. It wasn't until you showed me the thing where I was like, oh, if that's C, then
Yeah,
it's D.
they're
you know? You're like,
they're congruent.
yeah.
Since the last time we was here together, I've changed up the studio quite a bit. I've had my boy Timmy come through teaching me all about the 99% of guitar that is not just playing guitar, but how to take care of your instruments, you know, like how to properly set up all your instruments, how to look at wiring and the tools required to work on guitars. My boy Timmy, he a guitar tech and an amplifier builder. If you want to see some more of that, like, that's what we gonna be doing. That was the first time I was ever presented with that question, because the whole time I was playing guitar, I was playing for church. Like, what I started playing guitar for. Riffs and licks for worship songs. I want to be in a band. I never thought of like, I'm trying to like write my own songs. I did write songs because it was fun to like think of writing songs, but I was like, I'm not trying to be like, you know, a rock star or nothing, but like, I definitely want to play guitar with other people. So I was like, I just want to be in a band. When you were learning Blink-182 riffs, did you not dance around the fretboard with them?
No, because those are really regimented. It's like it stays the same, but then the bass.
When did you start taking things and putting them elsewhere?
I heard
on the
Black
fretboard.
Keys, that first album, put blues into like perspective.
Okay.
Because then when you try to learn those songs, you're like, wait a second, he's just like boxing it with style.
With style.
You know? Telly reminiscent. A little extra notch. You know, when you put a hanger, you always have to put it
Yeah.
at some like weird angle to like hang a telly. There's just a little extra.
I had him build me a couple workbenches so we could install some powerful tools, some woodworking tools. That's just where my mind goes after playing guitar for so long. I'm just be like, how do you make a guitar, bro? How do tube amps work, bro? Like, explain this to me. So he be teaching me how to make like dovetail joints so we can make beautiful boxes and then we can turn them into amplifiers. In here.
Not touching the wood.
Not touching the wood.
Just back it off
Back
a little
it
bit.
On this side.
Yeah, it just keeps it out of the way. You turn it on. It needs to be full speed when you...
I've never owned a tube amp for any actual prolonged period of time. That's just another development that happens in all guitarists' lives. Crossroads, Karate Kid, Ralph Macchio, got DVD. The Steve Vai stuff is hella sick. His blue stuff is hella sick. That telly he plays is hella sick. I would always go to that one scene. It goes from him playing the classical guitar. Moving those shapes around, I think, was super apparent to me because that's what made the guitar more appealing than piano. Because I was like, oh wait, I don't have to memorize the shifting of black keys and giving up this and that. I can literally learn one shape for all time. I can learn one lick for all time.
And that's what it is on the piano, if you think about whole steps.
Yeah,
that's
but
what it is, but you can't readily, and it
like,
makes sense. A half step, with the exception of E and F and B and C,
yeah.
is like you can see there's a half step between the whole step.
This sounds like in a boxed scale. Ends with a half step. Very different. Instead of ending it with a whole step. You know what I mean? Here's ascending with the first set of half steps. And here's descending with the second set of half steps. You know what I'm saying? That's all four of these notes. And then the four below it in a chromatic sense. Those were just little pattern games that I would come up with. Take them over to backing tracks and be like, that's sick. I've always been very intrigued in how guitars are made. I'm a visual person who's bent on arts and crafts, so it's like sometimes I can't not vandalize a guitar. Then I was like, what's up with just like making a guitar? Can I just like make a guitar? Like, let's see what happens.
After we do final sanding and wipe it down with the NAFTA substitute, we have to only touch it with rubber gloves because your oils will get on there. And then after, you'll notice, like,
right.
Why is there a fingerprint in my finish?
Cop this one on Clement Street again at Adventures in Music. I started really nerding out on like the major scale. I'm showing up with the Les Paul standard and everyone is expecting a certain level of playing. So I had to learn really quick. The one big takeaway from this is that there's no fret markings. There's something about not having fret markings on the face that allowed me to just think of the guitar
As intervals.
as that. Shapes, jumps, patterns, intervals. All I'm doing is trying to understand intervals. On the guitar and on the piano, what does that look like?
With the black keys, it's it's the blues, but he also does those little passing things.
Chromaticisms. Yeah,
Dan Auerbach. So he would do but he would also do those things you're talking like
forcing,
those.
forcing these stacks. Do a whole step. Then you do the minor. Then you start doing the zipper action. And these are going to become like finger twisters. You know, like tongue twisters?
I know,
finger twisters.
Muscle memory sometimes forces me not to do that.
I've always looked at guitar like skateboarding. Things that you pick up naturally, and it's going to take 500 to 1,000 tries before you land something. Once you learn the theory and the concepts behind the nomenclature and all the names of the tricks and all the stories and the lore, all of a sudden one day you pick up Thrasher magazine and it's like, bruh, this stuff used to not make sense to me. Now it all makes sense to me. You always just gotta find people who skate better than you, and everybody's just gonna level up. homie of mine at the academy, he has a guitar that he doesn't play, and I was like, I'll sell it to you for all cheap. Epiphone Les Paul, and I was like, oh, what? That's exactly what I'm into right now. And it was the all black. These are all the original everything. And I was like, I want a white one. Randy Rhoads has a white one. I painted it all white, gave it a little, I call it like ice cream cake, you know? And I did the little trappings and everything, you know what I'm saying? Switch and the knobbies, all white. So then I could just straight up have the Les Paul shape. And it's like a dipped skateboard, you know? You can see where the fingers are from all that repetition. Without dots. You know what I'm saying? Like all those jumps without dots and everything. When do you think you started noodling? Like, I don't know where this is gonna go.
In
Like
around that time, Black Keys, I was in San Luis Obispo playing with people. You gotta keep the groove going.
Okay, so you were like,
and then it was just like,
but it's like rhythmic noodle too, though, because you're playing with other people. You can't just be sitting by yourself hoping that
it works out.
Ideas work out.
So whatever the beat was, I would just be like,
yeah.
oh, we're in C. I
figured it out.
Yeah.
When I first started skating, and you watch skate videos, you just be like, all right, so if I just keep doing this, then I'm gonna be able to blunt slide down some handrails. But in reality, it's like someone's gonna do it, but it's probably not Embarklife. When I first got my hands on some digital copies of like Steve Vai, Michelangelo's Speed Kills,
I just watch so my fingers never do what I used to call the banana. They never go like this and curve this way.
when you first watch it, you're like, all right, so if I just keep doing this, then I'm gonna be doing that. Bro, I've been playing guitar for like hella long, and it's like, I still don't play guitar like that though. Every single guitarist that I've ever played music with, I remember all of those moments. They were playing like Eruption and stuff in high school, and they don't even play guitar anymore, and you're like, why though? Then you just start thinking about, man, I'm gonna just do it for all the people who like don't do it anymore. And then you're like, I'm gonna just keep doing it for all the people who can't do it anymore. I'm gonna just keep doing it because I can. If you have a rack and you have dedicated strappies for everything, a part of strap management is like, I have this like approach to putting it back in the stand with the strap out. That way it's not like getting caught in the mixture of other guitars. You know what I'm saying? Then you can kind of like file them. When you were playing the cover songs, did you do tab, ear, piano?
I did mostly ear.
Okay, mostly ear.
At that time, I was really trying to like ear train. Hear, like that's that D shape. It's just up there. Another one would be Alabama Shakes, Hold On. I had never heard the song before, but the band kept bringing that song up, and I just started learning that. Hold on. I'm the second guitarist. Someone knows that song, so they're holding that down. And I'm like, well, it's all in there. And I'm so like, okay, C sound. Eventually you switch who's playing what, and then so you start doing the dun, dun, dun. Solo part in that. I noticed he played it up here. And I saw, because of the key of C, A minor, I saw it down here. It's just pentatonic all day.
All day.
All day.
Which is a good reminder.
Yeah.
Everything hangs off the pentatonic. The pentatonic you won't capitalize on until you know your major. So we start with major. I use this note that's out. What is that, a C sharp? Yeah, see, C sharp. That's not in the key of G. But because that 7 can be a power chord, that interval works in the context of your G major pentatonic. Here's your 7. Here's your C sharp. That was so harmonic. If you're trying to see what's up, what I be working on for the future moving forward, please consider subscribing and like my videos if you do like them. You can leave a comment on what you be working on. We can see what's good with it. Let me know what you want to know about. I be doing a lot of things now that I'm on my pivot. I'm just out here having a wild time, staying ready, committed to all-out graphic design. I have only ever had the experience of trying to melt faces in really small spaces. This is the first time in my life all my musical tools are in the same room. We gonna try and bust a gut, you know what I'm saying? On Rondo at the time, they had a whole bunch of tellies in and around the same price. They all had these headstocks that were not trying to be telly headstocks. And this is the only fake China telly that Rondo had that had something that
still
looked like it was trying to be a telly headstock. And then, you know, I had to do the thing where I got like the paint in the knurled part of the knobby. This guitar also went through multiple refinishings. When I think of like distortion and stuff, that's what I think of. So I was like, I want an orange Telecaster. The trick bag demands a 22nd fret. My Mexican telly, when I copped that years later, that telly only went up to the 21st. It still had to play off lipstick pickup. That's what I was looking for.
And the ones where I did try to bring those, experiment with the harmonic minor and stuff, were 2-chord open things with a lot of space so that you can get weird.
The whole thing only works because the half step is that half diminished that leads in back into the major tonic. I was really into what Rob Chapman was doing.
Hey, how you doing? Rob Chapman here.
Because his first run of guitars I wasn't really into. He'd be doing him. I support that. But then when he moved his factory, he came out with this Monkey Lord 1 ML1 Ash. Going from the Telly to the Strat, you know what I'm saying? He came up with this thing and I was like, oh, I want to see what's up with that. Found out where they were getting made. Korea, you know what I'm saying? I was like impressed with that. All these sounds, I was like, dude, countersunk with this contour. Bro, like that's a sick guitar. Has the telly headstock that's trying to look like a telly headstock, but it's not fully telly headstock. And they reversed it. All the tricks. Like, you're just giving me all the tricks. When you were playing with other people, did you get into improvisation or like not just straight improvisation, but like ideas? Let's just play ideeds.
Yeah,
just play ideas.
Totally. That pentatonic, the rock secret scale, and like what that goes with. E and A, right? We haven't designated a key yet. There's a lot of keys with E. And A.
Yeah.
Oh, it's E, so I'm gonna play where I know E is, right? But I'm always in this happy pocket. I can't get out of it. I'm in this pocket and I don't want to sound like that. But then it was like the minor third interval. It's like more serious, right?
And it's all about when you look at that same exact shape, what are you going to capitalize on this
And
time?
there are different areas where you dwell.
Yeah.
It's different, but it's the same.
Oh, we're playing in G? Then I can actually play in G, C, and D. I only know a few shapes all over the place. I want to be strict G major, then I'm strict G major. Get a little extra flavors, and bring some phrases that are from my D. That's also in the key of G. This is also in the key of G. In my time as a graphic designer, I've worked with all types of brands. Big brands, some of my favorite brands. Some of them might be some of your favorite brands. As a graphic designer on my pivot right now, I'm trying to turn my direction to independent brands. You know, like indie brands. I want to work with indie brands and indie bands. Songwriting is my songwriting electric guitar. Test out all the tones for different riffs, different licks over different things. I got the humbucker where I use a humbucker. I got the single coils where I use single coils. I could split it. It's like Telecaster-esque, you know what I'm saying? Les Paul-esque, you know, the boxy nature. But it has that comfort right there. The way the grain falls into there, it's like, oh man, like that's just hella baller to me. The one thing that this is only tremolo down. I can't do strap bodies that are fat bodies is the output. I
You
always
like
have
the
to get
side
the right.
entry. You
Yeah.
like the side entry.
All chords are 3. That's why power chords are not full chords.
Yeah.
And then 3 chords designates the key. You should learn your cowboy chords and the easy position chords, but then you need to jump onto the major scale because all those other chords that exist come from understanding their relationship in
Of
the major scale.
'cause the whole half.
Yeah. When you start thinking about intervals, then you start thinking about that one single note and its possible relationships to other notes. Because when you're only thinking about the major scale, that has to be the 1, 3, and the 5. But what we're talking about is go a major third from that note.
Yeah. Totally.
Go right.
Major, go a fifth
Yeah.
from that.
Then you start going back through the whole music theory, and you're like, oh, that's what we learned the major scale just so at the end we'll know that it's only because of the intervals between the notes that make the major scale. If it wasn't those intervals, it's not the
Not
major scale.
anymore.
So if you were independent artists that need graphic design work, hit me up. Like, let's see what's good. If you a musician and need some graphic design work, like, we really gonna see what's good. If you a visual artist that need music or sound development, we can see what's up and get it. And this was the guitar I copped when I became a working professional. I was like, the real Fender doesn't have the 22nd fret, so even the guitar that I wanted to do the trick bag on,
Dude, there's something about one-piece maple neck, dude.
when I saw this at Guitar Center used, dude, I saw it on the rack and I was like, no way. Mexican, it was like under $300 at that time too, you know?
Now
Like,
it's like 700.
and then Angela was like, you should cop that.
That's what Ralph Macchio plays.
That's what he has. This is the guitar that Karate Kid used to defeat Satan's guitarist. That's what I was getting into. Also the 25, what is it, 25
and a half.
and a half.
And the skunk stripe on the back of the
Yeah,
neck.
like there's little things about this that are just like amazing to me. Vocalizing while you play. Like not singing while you play, but like yeah. Like that opens up doors.
Yeah.
You know where this is going before you play it. You're feeling it out. And I think when you start singing with the notes, that's like huge. I like this almost like they teach you middle C because it's easy for your musical ideas to start expanding into high. And then when you're starting here, it's easy for you
Go
to
back down low.
think Queens. Brian May plays Somebody to Love. We're gonna be making a bunch of music and we're gonna be trying to make guitars and amplifiers. Right now I'm trying to write some songs, possibly try to put together an album. We'll see what happens.
When all the harmonics in the room are pinging, you know, and like even your hairs on your thing are like in the frequency of the sounds, and everybody's in time. No matter what you do, no one can break it because you're in it. You know those like moments, there are times when you can't do wrong and you keep melting in that same spot and everyone goes, oh, and so you do it again. Oh.
To be able to relate with other musicians in a musical environment.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, I'm doing this whole like bedroom thing, slaving over these scales and these shapes because I'm trying to take it to some homies.
Yeah.
Strap management.
I like having a guitar hang at a level that's consistent when I'm standing and playing, and also maintains itself when I'm sitting and playing. Could be this side or this side. When I was a kid, every time I saw a guitar hero doing something heroic, it was standing.
Someone's better, you want to hang, so it pushes you to learn new tricks and stuff just so you can hang. Other people come and jam and they couldn't hang, and I feel bad for them
because you remember being that.
Yeah, like, oh, okay, they're playing and everyone's grooving on it except for me.
But you have to step into that arena.
Yeah,
like,
you have to.
Because
you have to open yourself to embarrassment.
Yeah,
to be able
exactly.
To,
Gibson Studio, 2007. I'm gonna redo another pickguard. The black one that it comes with, it's broken. He copped this white one used, and it had EMGs in it. I couldn't believe my eyes when he brought it over the first time. I was like, wait, what? Like, it's with my own eyes, a Les Paul with EMGs. Like, I thought you couldn't do that. Like, I thought the world would end. But then he brought it out the case, and the world didn't explode. Like, I was able to dial some Randy Rhoads tones with it, pushing the mids. I've always liked being able to see if I can make something. That's why I started asking around on how to press my own skateboards. That's why I started asking around how to build computers. That's why I started asking around how to make shoes, how to print shirts. Tell me. I didn't
Tell me.
Whoa!
Tell me.
Bro.
How to make products. Those are the things that I've always found maximum enjoyment and entertainment. I'm all about lifestyle products. Things that just make everyday life better. Better for everybody. We're gonna see what happens.
So in that Hold On song, I never really sang or something before. And I did that and it rang. We were playing in a metal container with the frequencies and so I held that you gotta hold, and it was just oh, amazing. So so I've been chasing that dragon ever since. People ushering you how we used to skate. Come on, man, let's go skate. Come on, don't worry about it. Let's just go skate. We'll play that song that you want to play. Dang. There we go. Better. I just don't have the flick anymore.
At this time, I now have 60 subscribers, which is very amazing to me. Last time we was here together, I had 35 subscribers. That's pretty sick, bro. Thank you to all 60 of you. It's amazing.
Signals, when the song is supposed to end.
Yeah.
But you can't just end it because you're part of this
When I would do the church music, when you have your set songs, we spend a lot of times how does the song start? How does it end? We already know that there's chords in the middle. We already know that
how it goes. The train goes,
right?
But where
we
does
already
it
know.
stop?
But a non-backing situation where there's no context, I was I need that to lead somewhere. I feel There I'm okay. Then I want this whole step right here. There's just little things that I would think about when phrasing and noodling endlessly. This needs to end. I don't want this solo to be a 15-minute solo.
I've been using my first go around on YouTube to canonize my creative process in the current state that it exists in. And I think I finally found some focus. And on top of that, one of my personal guitar heroes subscribed to my channel. Bosco France. We on to something. Or at least I hope I am. He's the man. One of my favorites. I don't want to let the homies down. I spent my first go around in the Nowadays vlog trying to figure out my visual elements and my visual language and the sequences of events. And then I took this intermission season to figure out how the sound be working, how I could start creating music. And now it's time to write some songs.
bought this in 2014, but it's a 2007. So it's 7 years as a player's guitar. This is a total player's guitar. That's definitely colored from wear, like human interaction.
And there's definite like weather checking, like it was kept in a car.
Yeah, and you can see where underneath the finish
cracking,
right here.
Yeah, at the neck joint.
You know, and like all the discolorations. But I always thought that was sick. It's got the gold hardware. I asked him about it. I was like, bro, I'm trying to like just see what's up with like more music, like for real, for real. Let's do it. I'll front you the Les Paul. Don't even trip. It's not getting played, you know. And when he sold it to me, it had a missing string on it.
I'm fixing a guitar.
You're stringing your guitar?
Yeah.
This thing's got to get played, you know. You got to play the guitar. So now we got it. Go to a guitar shop and just check out a guitar. What do you play?
Dude, I have this rule. If I'm going in a guitar shop and I'm not trying to buy a guitar, I ain't trying to play any guitars. Dude, if I see something I like, I'm gonna start like doing things. I can sell this. I can go get this weird job. So I try not to play guitars when I go to a guitar center. Really try not to. I'm looking for bursts, and I'm looking for Ernie Ball guitars too. And I always want to see if they have a St. Vincent.
Oh, the weird shape one.
Yeah. 4,000. Okay, how can I do this? You know, like.
They're cool guitars.
They're really cool.
They're really cool looking.
It's gun oil back. Oh, why I also looked at one because it's unique. It's something I don't have. It has mini humbuckers.
Yeah. You know? So you're going in looking for Ernie balls, bursts.
Yeah, show me that premium AAA top.
Yeah.
Let's see it.
I really hope you've enjoyed our time here together. Allow me to show you the direction that I be going in. I really hope you consider following my work. You can hit me up on Instagram. I'm on Instagram. And please subscribe to this channel. I want to work with other creatives. I want to work with other musicians. And when the time comes, we finna drop some lifestyle products.
Oh, there's a Fender Bassman, a vintage Fender Bassman in the special room. Mm-hmm. Let me turn that up. That's what happened with the 5F1. Let's see what's up with this like 2-1 knob shit. You play it, you come in the next day, play it again. And you're like, oh, President's Day comes up. And then you're like, I'm just going to go in there and I'm just going to see. That's all I'm going to do. And they're like, oh, it's the 25% off weekend sale. Gibson, Fender, all those ones are not part of the sale. I know it's not part of the thing, you know, near the end of the day. Like, I know you got to make some money. Come on, man, what can you do me? Well, with the 15%, you know, I was like, nah, man, come on, man, $750. Like, I'm telling you right now, if it's $750, I'm walking out of here with that amp. His manager was right there, and he seriously went like, do it, like that. Even the pedals, dude. Don't even try a stupid $100 pedal. Don't even try it.
It's actually half of that.
So that
chord
would
is half of that.
You actually put it. You vocabularized what I was talking about when I'm trying to change key. Is where I'm looking. I'm looking at that third, and I'm looking at the seventh, where the action happens. When you go into minor, it happens at the third.
Thank you for allowing me to do some show and tell. You know, show you some guitars and tell you my guitar stories. I really look forward to hearing from any one of y'all who's out there. And y'all could let me know how I can help you creatively and we can see what's good with it. I really hope to start showing up with this content on a more regular basis. We gonna see what happens. Yeah, I'm gonna see y'all next time. And hopefully it'll be sooner than later. Embarklife.
Careful with Les Pauls, because you know if you're just clipping these strings, the headstock might fall off.
But mine not right there.